Our officers, according to this memo, will not block their path, but I think if you've ever actually seen reports taking place, it's not always a matter of having to block people's path to ask them to stay and actually provide their details when they're being reported.
Well, you're not allowed to corral them, block their path, physically detain them or follow them.
And that is not anything new. Having worked as an authorised officer for 2 years myself, I'm aware of all these matters, and is why I found quite offensive your description of our officers at the start of your show.
What did I call them?
I'm not going to repeat it.
Gorillas?
I find it very offensive, having worked in this job.
Well, that's because, I'm not saying you did it, but over the years, a lot of your officers have behaved like gorillas.
Neil, that's not correct.
Oh, yeah, you want a list of people who have been beaten up by them?
That is absolutely not correct.
You're saying nobody's ever been beaten up by them?
I'm not going to go into that any further. That's absolutely not correct. And I think the vast majority of people who have dealings with authorised officers...
You should be checking tickets rather than a communications officer. You're not communicating here. If this has always been the policy, why has this statement been issued, this memo, in March 2013?
Well, thankfully, incidents of the type of officers being assaulted are very rare. And we've had 10 of them from the start of the year until the end of March, which led to 15 minor, thankful injuries to our staff members.
That's awful.
Which is an increase on last year, even though it is rare. And it's just a reminder to staff to exercise caution and continually do risk assessments while checking tickets and reporting offenders.
If this has always been policy, why does the first line of this memo say, in March 2013, a policy in relation to arresting suspected offenders is to be implemented and is effective immediately?
It's not a new thing.
Well, why is it described as a new thing?
It's not described as a new thing. It's
a policy in relation to arrest...
implemented.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Okay, so does this mean that fairer voters are more likely to be able to walk?
I would say that in cases where our officers do have to make a risk assessment, they may have to.
What does that mean? Can you say that
in
in
English? They may have to call the police if required, or they may have to step away in the event that is the safety of our staff members or our passengers is in danger.
So if they're not going to nick fairer voters, who will they nick?
They'll continue to check tickets on trams, and they'll continue to report offenders as required.
Do you seriously want to put to me that there have not been a significant number of incidents involving ticket inspectors on trains and trams mishandling the public?
I would not talk on behalf of the trains. I would only talk on behalf of the trams.
Yes.
But I would defend the conduct of our officers. Absolutely, Neil.
Well, I think there's a lot of people who disagree with you, and we've had them on the phone over the years. How long have you been in communications?
About 5 years.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Adam Woolcock, Communications Officer at Yarra Trams. Ah, dear.